Hello dear, and welcome to Hoodie Priestess Tarot. I'm Jodine, your host, and tonight we're going to do a Celtic cross spread for you. I'm going to be using the Light Seers deck, and when we finish that, before we close out, we're going to be asking for an oracle card for you from the Akashic Record Oracle deck, which I find always gives pertinent advice. Okay, so let us begin, Pisces, dear Pisces. We're looking for a Celtic card spread for Pisces. See what's been going on. I can smell the incense that these cards were cleansed with, and the name of the incense is Sea Witch. And it was gifted to me from a Pisces, a very special Pisces. Okay, so let's draw for Pisces now. And let's see what we get. Ooh. Ooh. This is you, Pisces. Speaking of... And this is what challenges and or crosses you. Sure, of course. Off into the sea, off into the moonlight. All right. Here's the recent past. Oh my God, there's a story here. In the future, there you are, Pisces, showing up in your own reading, along with Gemini. Gemini's in your reading with you, if that makes any difference at all. Here's what you know. Here's what you don't know. It's odd between what you know and what you don't know. All right, and then here's how you see yourself, Pisces. Oh, you've got something in common with Sagittarius. Maybe watch the Sagittarius read. Now, it wasn't the way they saw themselves. They showed up. Number one card, first card, as the Tower. I don't know, maybe you have some Sagittarius in your chart. Heavy Sagittarius. So that's how you see yourself, as the Tower. This is how other people see you. The Four of Pentacles. And that's interesting too. This is the hopes and the fears. High Priestess. Now, I've always given you this card credit for being Pisces. Why did I think that? I always thought this was a card of Pisces. But when I looked it up, it said the moon is a card of Pisces. Now, I always gave Cancer the moon. Oh well. Okay, so that was the hopes and the fears, the High Priestess. This is a possible outcome. It's the Five of Swords. You know what I say about the Five of Swords. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, now what's on the bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords. It's a beautiful card. So, those are your cards, my dear. Well, dear, I feel like we're really in deep here. I don't see the Three of Swords. And yet there's some deep sense of disappointment. Something didn't pan out. Here you are in the center, a lover. In love. Very actively in love, yeah? Flaming orange, red, like my shirts. Love, Gemini. Did you love Gemini? And, but what crosses you is having to walk away from that relationship. It didn't suit you. It's an interesting card, you know, like if you look at Rider-Waite-Smith, the person in the Eight of Cups is walking away from 8 unbroken, upright, I believe, full cups. In this one, like right over here, you can kind of see that there's a cup in the act of sinking, and there's some shadowy hint here that other cups might have sunk to the bottom. One is still floating with a flame in it. It's really interesting. You're leaving behind the remnant of some love, but so much sunk to the bottom. There's just a little bit of a flame left in your heart, but not much, not like there used to be. This is a disappointment. We're looking at Rider-Waite-Smith. There's a difference. Like, the person walking away from those 8 cups, they had something substantial there. 8 full, unbroken, upright cups. They already had something substantial, but it wasn't quite what they wanted. And so they were walking away, and they're going to think about what they do want. They have to do some soul searching. But in this one, 7 of the cups are sunk. There's disappointment here. Disillusionment. Heartache. In the past, you were ready to expand on this love. You were looking out to sea. You were going to indulge it, entertain it, see if it would grow. That's the point, right? Manifest it. Either there was a strong sense of camaraderie, or there could have been, for some of you, some interference in the relationship. You know, every time you see the 3 of Cups, it doesn't mean cheating, but sometimes it does, right? You know, so if that's your story, okay. If it's not your story, then it's not your story. Either there was interference in the relationship, and interference can come in all sorts of forms. It's not always another lover. Of course, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's substance abuse. Sometimes it's a job. Sometimes it's just somebody being preoccupied with something. Maybe it's an emotionally unavailable person. But anyway, we got 2 3s here. Manifestation, creation. There was a sense of, let's do this. But this is the thing that's in the don't know part of the reading. This is the thing that didn't grow. And it's the 4 of Wands, which is the wedding celebration card, right? But it's also, the 4 of Wands is the full manifestation of the 3 of Wands. It's what you would have gone to if conditions would have been right, which is, this is a happy, happy life. A foundation with kindred spirits, a celebration of the fruitfulness of whatever you were manifesting, the full manifestation. So this is the thing you never realized. That's the thing that didn't materialize. Of course, right? I probably don't need to tell you this. In the future, we have the moon. And what does that mean? Does that mean you're going to confront your shadow? Are you working on that now? The scars, the love scars? Does it mean that it's a mystery? We don't know yet what's in the future. Are we a little bit afraid of what's in the future? This is your card, Pisces. You see yourself as the Tower. All right, I believe it, because also you're the person walking away. So this is a good, thorough, I think, house cleaning. I mean, you are actively, just like Sagittarius, getting rid of everything that's inauthentic, anything that is a faulty foundation, a foundation that's never going to amount to this. You're blowing it up. You're fucking burning it down. If it's not serving you, it's out of here. You're pulling a Queen of Swords, higher executive move, right? Other people see you as the Four of Pentacles. What is that? Stubborn? Stable? It might depend on who you ask. Some people might see you as stubborn. Others might see you as stable. If we want to be literal, somebody might see you as saving your money, but I don't think that's what we're talking about. And then a possible outcome, I swear, I don't know. This is not a possible outcome. This is the hopes and fears. Well, here we have the High Priestess who's traveling in silence, who's keeping secrets. Okay. And then a possible outcome is we're dealing with hurt and pain. And I don't know if that's pain that you're feeling because of all the things that this relationship was a disappointment in, or if you're actually going to deal with probably this lover here who's going to be an asshole, or if you guys are going to like fight and say sharp words. I mean, this is the possible outcome. We're not looking at the past with this card. This is like, you've hurt me, I'm walking away. You've hurt me, I'm walking away. I don't think you're coming back. You know, because maybe this has happened before. And what's off here on the side is the card of deep rest and recovery, going into your nest. It's the card maybe of licking your wounds a little bit, crawling down, down, down into the bottom of the nest, and healing all your hurt parts and the parts that are scratched and bleeding, the wounds. This is also a card of going into a spiritual, meditative state, and probably coming to some conclusions about how we're going to operate in the future that we don't yet know about and that she won't talk about. I guarantee you she's thinking about it in there. Where do we go from here? How do we go forward after the wounding? Underneath that card, we have the Sun. So I think there is some hope for the future. Or you've got some major Leo in your cards or in your chart. And if you do, that's good. Because the Sun is the energy of life. Right? So we hope so. And then beyond that, we have the Four of Cups. Being too distracted to take another love that comes along, or just plain not wanting it because you've had enough, right? You've had enough in the past. Maybe you're not interested in another cup yet. Maybe it's going to be a while. Chariot underneath that, card of Cancer, if that makes any difference. But there's a lot of intuitive and kind of psychic cards on the table. It's hard to ignore them We've got Cancer, we've got the Moon, we've got High Priestess. Somebody's going to come along and romance you. I don't know if it's that person that you've already decided things weren't working with. Are they going to show up and make an apology, or is this a new person? I have to tell you, it doesn't look like they stand much of a chance. Ten of Swords. You're still bleeding for a while, I think. I think it's a while. It's the good thing about the Ten of Swords is it's over, right? But it takes a while to heal from that. And underneath that, we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is a further commentary on just how long it can take, because underneath that, we have the Knight of Wands. How many cards down have I gone? Knight of Wands is the wounded warrior with a strong boundary, but also very stubborn, not giving up. Finally, after all those cards, we get to the Page of Wands. Oh, a brand new exuberant excitement, lust for life, passionate, jumping back out into the fray and do something new. But it's a while, honey. Look at all these cards I'm holding. Sweetheart, it's a while before we get down to that page. And that's okay, isn't it? What's the rush? What the hell? This is a good place to be. Take your time there. Don't worry about it. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anybody anything. I applaud you. I applaud you for this. I applaud you for knowing. I applaud you for not being delusional. I applaud you for knowing and listening to your intuition, even if you don't want to talk about it. You don't have to fucking talk about it. I can see that you know that that wasn't right for you, and you knew enough to walk away from it. You're smart. You're smart mama. Let's look at the let's look at this Akashic record oracle. See, what do you have to say to Pisces? What do we have for Pisces? This is very good, Jack. I'm talking you up, Akashic records, so I hope you'll deliver. For Pisces, for Pisces, for Pisces. One more for Pisces. All right, thank you. Let's see what we get now. Here we are. Gratitude. This card's come up before. There's so many cards in here that never come up. Oh, she's a pretty face, huh? Rosy cheeks, the picture of health. She's turned her face to the sun. She's basking in the warm, nutritive rays of the sun. All right, it says gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for, even in the darkest of situations. Now is the time to recognize what is going well in your life. Nice. And what you are thankful for. Yeah. That's good advice. I think that's always good advice every day, even if you don't have wounds. But if you do, then I think it's even more important because it gives you another place to turn your focus. What else can I say to you? Find those things that soothe your soul. If it's art, if it's nature, if it's hanging with your friends, if it's spending time with your kids, if it's gardening, if it's yoga, I mean, whatever it is, walking in the woods, laying on the beach, 'tis the season, taking hot baths, meditating, I don't know what. Find what soothes your soul and make time for it on a regular basis as you heal these wounds. It'll do you good. Anything you can do with your hands that will take you out of your head. But it seems to me, Pisces, that you're pretty smart. I love you. And until we meet again, take care. And bye-bye.